I think Black Adam is the perfect movie to you to see, for you to finally understand that these reviews that people make about these movies are flawed. You need to make up your own freaking opinion. You see critics giving 40% and see regular people doing 90%. It might have something in the middle. So please go check out this movie. Okay, I'm gonna talk about it right now. So please don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. It helps a lot the channel. And let's go with the review. Okay, so first I saw some interviews from The Rock. He was talking about the production of the movie, how long it took for him to make this movie, because he told everybody that it was his first choice as a superhero for him to play was Black Adam. There's news about this for like 13 years ago that it was almost right that he was gonna make this movie. But 13 years ago, there wasn't a lot of background for superheroes. 10 years later, there was a whole universe of superheroes, and this was finally a chance of production of this movie. Okay, so we already saw Shazam, which is at the same universe, at least in the same parallel. And I didn't like Shazam at all. It was a kids movie for me, and I like funny things. I like a lot of comedy, but the comedy didn't work for me. I like the effects a bit, but Black Adam for me, I was like, it needs to be darker than that because I love The Rock. I almost watch everything how he does. And this movie needs to be like a turning point for DC, because the Batman was already one that was retracting this bad moves that DC was making, and then we got to see also Peacemaker and HBO Max, and now we are finally seeing this movie, which at first I was a little bit skeptical about, but I was like, I'll give it a chance because I love The Rock. There's gonna be Pierce Brosnan on it, so it might be good. And boy, oh boy, it was very, very good. It was a great movie. If you like and if you love action scenes, if you like fighting scenes, it's gonna be a lot of action in this movie. It's gonna be a long movie, but you don't feel the hours passing by. There's comedy also. The movie in the right dozen. There are some forget you can forget about some characters they have during the movie. Yes, they make the movie bad. No, they went to a different purpose. The movie, it made a build up of this character of Black Adam, which I didn't know, it worked a lot for me as a thing that I didn't saw in the past Marvel movies, and I'm seeing now in this movie. So I will already give my verdict now. Okay, my verdict for this movie is an 8. It's an 8. It might go higher, but I need to analyze a little bit more. So let's talk a little bit more about the story, and then we go, to what the future of DC waits for us. First, we see a little bit more who is Black Adam, where he lives, Kahndaq, which is 5,000 years from now, which he was a slave. He had his. I'm gonna talk a lot of spoilers now, okay? Which he had his son, which was elected the champion from the Wizards because of how he elevated himself against the Lord that ruled there for the Eternium, okay? And then passing by the time, his family got killed, and The Rock, which is his father, he was injured badly, so he gave up his powers to make him a hero now, so he could live. And then he became a child again. He was Shazam, and then he changed powers with him. But right after it, he died. And then we see that The Rock as Black Adam, and you see that Black Adam, he gets pissed off about everything, and then he goes to face the king from Kahndaq. But at the time that he goes to face him, he becomes so angry about everything that he just annihilates the palace, and then he kills a lot of people. And by that, he's banished from the Shazam wizards. There's a lot of the triumph of wizards, and the only wizard that survives is the one that we saw in Shazam, which is that black old dude that he was the only one that survived, and it was able to lock him up until we see the beginning, which is the Gabrielle, I think is the name of the girl, Adriana, I forgot her name. Then she has a son, and she and the team is working on recovering the Sabacc crown, which is a crown made of Eternium, which was just like Shazam had a pact with the Wizards. This has a pact with the Seven Devils that were going to bring chaos to the war and rule the war. The job was to find this crown, but at the time they arrive at that room, they find not only the crown, they found also the tomb that kept Black Adam, which by now was only a myth. That there wasn't a lot of thing that collaborated with the version that he actually existed. And then when the armed forces come down to ambush them, She just recites the words that are on the ground, and Black Adam comes out. And his first reaction, we already seen the trailer, what he does. His first kill, which is the guy he chokes, and then he obliterates him with lightning and just destroys him. I was like, okay, let's see where this is going. And then they shows how, because we forget that, like, for example, him and Superman, they're super fast, but they don't show that a lot with humans. They fight also very powerful beings. But at Black Adam facing these normal dudes, we see how powerful he is compared to them. He just obliterates with lightning. He gets one guy and then throws all out the way. There's a missile coming. He throws the guy to blow out the missile. This was the thing that The Rock promised to deliver in this movie, which is action scenes with a guy who is reckless. And we get to see a lot of that. A guy who is reckless. At least from the first point to the end of the movie, he is a reckless guy. He just kills. And he doesn't give a damn. Oh, you don't have to kill. No, kill him, and then he just destroyed. I was wondering if The Rock was gonna keep up with the good guy thing that he has, at least on the movies. But in this movie, he promised something, and he delivered. You don't have to take that for granted. Not only that. After that, he fights a bunch of people who has this scene of slow motion. If you ever seen 300, you're gonna feel a lot of references about the slow motion, and just like Zack Snyder does. But this slow motion is different. This slow motion that happens all the time, and it's a little bit, the camera comes with the zoom in, and then you see all those action scenes from close by. I like that. It is the atmosphere of the movie. There are people who find it cheesy. It's a little bit, but I liked it from the atmosphere of the movie. It suited well. And then we see something that really fights him back, which is the Eternal missile. There's Eternal, and then he actually got her from it, and then they leave him home. And then the worst part of the movie, which is that annoying kid, which is Adriana's son, and her brother is pretty funny. He's a great guy. And then we see all of this development of Black Adam discovering who he is and discovering what's happening to Kandak, and showing, I'm not the hero because of the story that I just told, but the story it's being developed and started during the movie. The pace is really good on that, at least, and the jokes happens during this time. I didn't feel forced. They were good jokes. Because you put these characters, like human characters, mostly the kids, so people can make a relationship with all of these characters, and I think it worked out a lot. And then we see after that, Amanda Waller reached out to the Society of Justice, the name, which is almost like a second grade Justice League, but they have amazing characters. We have appearing also from this Society of Justice. We have the Storm Girl, which is also almost looks like the girl from X-Men. Then we have the Atomic Boy, I forgot his name, which all the girls are melting because he does a lot of romantic novels. He was a very suited guy. I think his jokes were a little bit forced, but his powers were amazing. His appearance on the movie was good in general. We have Dr. Phil, which was one of my favorite characters on this movie. Pierce Brosnan just ruled out of this, and we need a Dr. Phil standalone movie. It's just awesome, this character. And then we see Black Hawk also, which was a character that I saw a little bit from the games and from some comics, but the character, the actor is really, really good. I love him. I saw some people comparing him to, making him a Black Panther. He would fit perfectly. He's an outstanding actor. He was amazing on this role, and I didn't know that he was a very rich guy, which was a guy who is almost like Charles Xavier. He has a Blackbird plane and things like this. And then they go to Kandak to try to fight against Black Adam. Black Adam is just like Superman, but he doesn't have the heat vision, and he throws lightning out of his hand. But he's so powerful, just like he is. He flies fast, just like he does. So he is a very, very, very powerful character, And them fighting each other is just amazing. The fighting scenes are incredible. Dr. Fate using his magic to imprison him and use illusions to deflect his powers, using clones to punch him and try to defeat him. We see Black Hawk have superhuman strength. He's super fast. His armor is amazing. His weapons. The only powers that were at least shown badly with was Storm, because because she was with the slow motion of the colors was a little bit strange to me, but she looked powerful at least. And the atomic boy, la 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 la, who is a very large guy because he has a lot of fighting experience, so he wants to tries to contain Black Adam. He just does like an uppercut and then he's down. And we saw how they cannot defeat him. They cannot control him. At the end, he was just focused mainly on destroying the Sabacc crown. And then he saw the kid that he was having. He was having the Sabacc crown, and then he was captured. Now he feels the need to find it even more. And him and Black Hawk who was trying to figure out where he was, but then they kind of lost him. And then we see that the guy who had the crown, his ancestor was the king from Kandak 5,000 years ago, and passed the knowledge through to finally wake up, the Sabacc crown, and he become the demon from the demons. And then he used there's one of the funny scenes, because they're making a plan, to invade the headquarters from the Intergang. And like when there's like, oh, where's Black Adam? Black Adam just go there and destroys everything, and then he just gets a contained wall shield. And there's a good thing. They use the script well in trying to contain a bit of his powers. And it wasn't something dumb like, oh, it was like this petty thing. No, it was very smart thing, so he can see that he is powerful, but there are some things that make him a little bit vulnerable. But at least he is a very, very, very powerful and very interesting character that we saw. And then at the time when they are trying to rescue, there's a slow motion thing. He gets pissed off just like he did in the past 5,000 years ago. And then he kills the guy with the crown. And then they think, oh, I think it's done. And at the time it was done. I think it was Dr. Fate that convinced him, or was Black Hawk. They said like, you don't have to be this kind of guy. You can just you can just give up and everything. And The Rock told the story that he wasn't the kid, he was the father who did all the wrong choices. He wasn't the hero to be chosen. And then he just set Shazam, and then he became human again. And by the time Amanda Waller gets him back, and if you've seen Peacemaker, there's the girl who came part of the Peacemaker, and she was there. It was very nice thing to see. And then he gets imprisoned, But by the time that he gets imprisoned, we see that the guy who was killed by him with the crown, he was in hell with all the demons, resurrected him as a giant demon who was powerful enough to defeat all of the Society of Justice. And his plan was to, of course, destroy the world. And for him to do that, and then Dr. Fate, if you don't know his powers, Dr. Fate has also the powers of Doctor Strange, but the fact that the name Dr. Fate, because he, with his helmet, which possesses him, he can see the future, and in the future he's seeing Black Hawk dead and a big destruction happening. And then at the time that he says that, Black Hawk says, you could tell me that, because I'm not afraid to die, that. Like, I'm okay if that happens. And, I think Dr. Fates, he predicted that. And he made a choice of sacrificing himself to the cause. He showed a little bit more of his powers against this demon. But, I have the idea that he might have been capable of defeating that guy. But he was so certain that if he releases the Black Adam, he would easily destroy him. And I think, as we can see, Dr. Fate was not happy of being Dr. Fate again, so he sacrificed himself and he died. I was sad because I loved Pierce Brosnan's character. His arm was so hypnotizing, it's amazing. And with all of that, we saw after that, he helped Black Adam to release again. And then he finally understood that he was chosen by his son, which was a person who was a great person, had believed in him to follow through, and he saved him from certain death. For that, he died because of that. So he believed himself more and defeated finally the great demon. A great funny scenes that we saw in this movie. As I said, I will rate this movie an 8. Maybe I'll rate it more, I'm still trying to figure that out. And then at the end of the movie, this is already confirmed by Henry Cavill. That Henry Cavill is on this movie. On the post-credit scene, he appears as Superman, and wow, the movies went down. And then Henry Cavill, as I said, Henry Cavill came down and said that he was actually coming back as Superman. So we are now expecting to see more projects of Superman. Thank God for The Rock. The Rock was mainly the guy who made DC believe in Henry Cavill and bringing back this character that everyone everyone loves this character. He is, with Christopher Reeve, one of the best Supermans ever, and him suiting him so well, him and The Rock at the end of the movie. I'm so pumped to see that. I hope I see more of The Rock, and I hope I see more of this societal justice. The path that DC is making now, it is looking fine. I'm not certain about the Aquaman movie, because it got delayed a lot, and the Flashpoint movie also. But I think they are making the right moves more than the bad ones, and I hope they follow this path. But we're not certain of how they're gonna approach the DC universe. Probably they will, just make like parallel movies, or make it like a lot of trilogies. At least the Batman looks like this. I love the Batman. Was probably one of my favorites. Not my favorite movie of this year, by far. It was amazing, and like I said, I hope to see more of this face of DC, following the fans, just like the Rock said, he heard the fans and brought that, and he meant that, and I was afraid he didn't do it, and he did. He followed the fans. The critics didn't like. I don't care, Venom also the critics didn't like, and people loved it. And I'm telling you, if you watch the movie, you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it, and not regret it. Please watch it and spread the word, because this project was so amazing. I love this movie. I'll probably watch it again. So, yeah, thank you so much for sticking out with the video. It was a little bit longer than I expected. So, leave a like, comment. Don't forget to subscribe. It helps a lot the channel. And I see you in the next video. Goodbye and peace.